What's up, everybody? It is your boy Hoofling here, bringing you another gameplay podcast. Guys, it is fantastic to be back from vacation. We're going to start there. It's fantastic to be back, but man, do I miss the sand. I miss Florida. It was a whole lot of fun. Shout out to the people that went. It was an absolute blast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the, the tips for the average gamer, where we talked about the SVA 545, which we're actually seeing in action in this gameplay pod. A lot of that footage was, I say a lot of it, about 50% of it was recorded at the beach. And I was like, I'm going to make this a slightly working vacation, see how I can do this. We stayed on schedule for the most part. The only shortfall that we had was the vlogging Fridays, and obviously we couldn't do trucking Thursdays. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was on point. Monday and Tuesday was pre-recorded. Wednesday was done on the fly. And so I apologize for the trucking and the vlog part of it. There was no way to do the trucking part, and the vlogging part was a little bit difficult because of what I wanted to do and the volume of people that were there. It was a little bit tough to do that, so I apologize for that. But checking the notes, we've got what's going on for GTA. So we are going to do GTA streams Monday and Wednesday of this coming week. So if you're watching this, obviously it's a gameplay podcast. It's out on Mondays. We're going to do a stream tonight. It'll probably be around 7:30-ish Central Time, give or take. Certainly by 8 o'clock. We'll put it that way. Certainly by 8. Then we're going to do another GTA stream on Wednesday. That will be earlier in the day, probably about 5:36 p.m. Central Time. Give y'all a little bit of time to plan around that, because I do have to be at work at 7 a.m. on Thursday. So the Wednesday stream is going to be earlier by 6 p.m. Central Time. Tonight's stream, because obviously this goes live on a Monday, tonight's stream will be by 8 p.m. Okay, so stay tuned for both of those. I'm looking forward to getting back some GTA streams, and then obviously Tuesday will be some variation of On Patrol with Deputy Do or a GTA something related on the YouTube channel. I just want to point out, for those of y'all that were curious about the SVA and my playstyle, this whole portion of the gameplay footage, I'm defending the backside of this map pretty much by myself. I'm going from one side to the other. Some may call it camping, right? I don't, because I'm moving. I'm moving from side to side. I'm taking out UAVs. I'm playing my gameplay. But for those of y'all that have found this or wanted a little bit something extra in the gameplay tips for the average gamer part, watch this whole section until I die or in the next minute or two. But this whole 2 or 3 minute stretch is fan-freaking-tastic gameplay. It's probably a better display of the SVA 545 and why I like it better than the actual tips for the average gamer was. But anyways, so stay tuned for the GTA stuff coming tonight and Wednesday. Trucking goals. So I don't know if we mentioned it in the gameplay podcast that we did that was longer form with Kay, but we have lofty goals with this with the American Trucking Sim. The main objective of it is we want to get up to doing what I believe, based on research, is the longest trip possible in American Trucking Sim, which is going from Texas to Alaska. I googled it a couple weeks ago, and it popped up that the longest journey possible was from a location in Texas up to Alaska, about 5,000 miles, give or take. We did the math. We think it's going to take probably somewhere between 5 to 6 hours to do. And that will be a live stream event. So if we get it, we will live stream it. We're going to do the whole thing together, unlike in the gameplay podcast from last week, where Kay managed to flip his truck. And if you haven't seen that, make sure you find it in the shorts section. And I left him behind. This, if we do this journey, we're going to do it together. And, do everything by the book, rest, breaks, the whole 9 yards. And I look forward to doing that. So that's the lofty goals of the American Trucking Sim. But the shorter term stuff is just to, continue enjoying it, making, short form content out of it, do stuff. And so be on the lookout for that on Thursdays. All right, going back to my notes here. Baseball. we're gonna do a like we did preseason. We did it was done under the conversation series, which I think is on pause for the moment because we haven't quite figured out how we want to do that. But it was under the conversation series, I believe, that we did what is it? I think three guys that love baseball. So that's going to be roped into probably a gameplay podcast, longer form, where maybe myself and Kay are either trucking or I'm playing Call of Duty or something like that, and we talk about it. But we're going to do another baseball episode where we catch up on how the season's gone so far. That was a clip right there. A guy I accidentally team killed, and I thought about, you can see the chat box open, I thought about going after him, but I was like, nah, this gameplay footage is going good. I don't want to, say something I probably shouldn't in the chat here. But so stay tuned for the baseball stuff. That will likely be next week's gameplay podcast, but not entirely sure how we'll fit it in because I do want to do the longer ones. This is primarily a channel update, a week preview, a week in review kind of deal, but I do want to do longer ones like I did with Kay and the baseball thing coming up, which will hopefully feature myself, Kay, Senior, Andrew, and Carter. Andrew and Carter are welcome to come and go as they please. The invite's been extended to them, but myself and Senior will be going backwards and forwards about baseball, and Kay will be sitting there still trying to figure out who's on first. So that will be likely next week's gameplay podcast, if we can make it work. Right? That's the ideal. Weekly merch contest winner. We're gonna start we're gonna shift that to the gameplay podcast. We're going to do it in short format. We're gonna shift it to part of the gameplay podcast, so it's gonna be announced every Monday, like clockwork. And just a refresher of the rules. Obviously, you got to live in North America. You've got to be subscribed to the YouTube channel. You've got to be in the Discord, and you're gonna have to like and comment on this video here. So this is gonna be for week 5, I want to say. Something like that. So we're going to start doing it on the gameplay podcast. Those people that want to comment to it and do all that kind of stuff. We had a couple of commenters on last week's one. So Andrew is actually winning it for, I think, a second week. I want to say he won the introductory one, and he got picked. It was him and Kay that commented on the short, I believe. And so Andrew's winning it for a second time in a row. Andrew, if you want to claim your prize, it'll not only be a different shirt than you got last time. So open a ticket, and congratulations to Andrew. So be on the lookout, guys, for that. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Good to be back from vacation. Catch